Who wants a pot of coffee? I just made coffee. You want a cup of coffee? Sure, there you go. Who wants coffee? Anybody else want coffee? Who wants coffee?
And now it's time for the man with the caffeine, the new tropics for the brain. It's Coffee with Mike. Hang in, hang tight, grab your cup, and let's get this thing started.
Welcome back to Java Chat, everybody.
Java.
If you're wondering why I'm smiling like this, it's because of our guest and some of the fun shit that we're going to be talking about today.
Yes, we are.
When what is it? When your guest comes on and goes, one of us has been tased before, you know it's going to be a good interview. You know it's going to be a good interview. There's much this, and it was tased, not caffeinated. Tased. Let me make that clear. But she loves coffee too. That's interesting. She's got her cup. I got my cup.
I got my coffees.
I'm on the comments have been disabled tip today, so I like
Very
I
nice.
like your mug though. That's cool.
I bought myself a World's Best Mom, but it's in the laundry.
Oh. Oh boy. Let's trying to keep this down to 45 minutes. It's not going to be easy. So everybody knows how this goes. This is the formatted version. I can almost guarantee you guys we're gonna have Lisa back because our pre-show was hilarious. But Lisa, if you would, we always ask our guests to kind of explain who they are, where they're from, how they got to where they're at, just a little bit of history and who you are. Would you mind sharing that bit? Because you did go through some stuff when you were young, that brought you into a journey that brought you forward to today. And how did that go?
Yeah, thank you, Michael. And I want to thank you for having me on this show. I'm so excited. I've been looking forward to it for a while. My story is I'm Lisa David Olson. I wrote a book, and why the hell would I write a book? Who cares? And I'll answer. I'm glad I asked me that because
well, here. You wrote a book. Why?
You can go have lunch, Michael. I got this.
I'll be back soon.
I wrote a book to share my story that I was raised in a traumatic childhood, and that's not unique.
Yeah.
But it is unique to share it and put it out there. And it took me a while to find my brave pants and know that I don't have initials after my name. Why in the hell would anybody want my story? And when you have all that self-doubt, because everyone listening has a story. And when you have that self-doubt, that's your inner voice.
Yeah.
Never let the inner voice win. Give the inner voice the troll face and the name and say, get out of my house, you know? And it's terrible. That's what you should do when you're doubting yourself, because if you just write it, it doesn't matter if you ever actually produce it.
Right.
So in writing my story, memories came back to me. My mother was a functioning alcoholic. The woman worked, just always was a worker. And I definitely got work ethic from her.
Wait, she was a workaholic as well as a functional alcoholic?
Yeah, I never thought of that both side by side. Yes.
Yeah, I've never heard of that before. That's a first. Wow.
Yeah, that's why I say functioning alcoholic. I like the way you point that out. But she thought she was not an alcoholic because she didn't take a drink in the first thing in the day. Well, of course, she was enabling herself to do that. But there were times where she would pretend to faint. There's 4 kids in my family, and she would just be on the floor. It got to the point where she pretended to be sick, and she was showing us the thermometer, the old style,
the old mercury
thermometer,
with
the mercury in it. And I came around a corner and saw her holding it on a light bulb, and she was in shock that I saw her doing that. And so trust remains a huge issue for me, just huge.
Yeah.
And sometimes when she would faint, I'm not proud to say, but I was a kid. We stepped over her to turn the channel. So I'm old enough that we didn't have a remote. Our remote was punching little brother and saying, go turn the channel. The pliers is on top.
Well,
because the handles are always broken off.
I was the remote, so I remember.
Trigger.
Yeah.
I bet you did a fine job, Michael. I bet you did.
Well.
And it's
thanks for bringing back the depression. I appreciate it. That's really
sip your coffee. It's so weird to say that it was normal to step over your mother who was fainting and to go turn on Gilligan's Island, but that's the facts. I mean, but coming into our room at night, come out here and straighten up the silverware drawer. Who put this away wrong at 3 a.m? So night frights, all that stuff.
Wow.
Let me also say, therapy is a good thing.
Yes, it is.
You can't fix all this yourself. You have to get the words out of your own head to professional, not whining on Facebook, and get
Or
professional
Twitter,
help.
or any other platform for that matter.
Yeah, true. And so that's where I come from. So humor saved my life. And the reason I say that is I honestly was sitting in my bedroom. I was about 14. I had a handful of Darvocet. I remember the bright blue Darvocet. Don't remember how I got them. They certainly weren't mine. And I had a handful and I was ready to take them. It was a basement bedroom, dark paneling, navy blue bedspread. I can see it all.
Wow.
But then I thought, Carol Burnett's going to be on. And Carol Burnett is my hero, remains my hero today. And if anybody has her number, I really want an 8-minute phone call. That's all I'm going to ask for, 8 minutes. And I didn't want to miss the show. And comedy is such a role in my life. If mother was laughing, she wasn't hitting us.
Mm-hmm.
Or if we were hit, we siblings would meet up and do goofy stuff all the time to cheer each other up.
Yeah.
Humor is a healer, and there's so many ways I can go into that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the shorter version of my story. And I did write my memoir. It's called Laughs on Rye, and it's spelled W-R-Y. And it's about me becoming an improviser. I end up owning my own comedy troupe. It's award-winning in my area.
Wonderful.
And we do sketch comedy, much like Carol
Oh,
Burnett,
yeah. Those are fun.
improvisation,
Yes.
and musicals. So I can sing, I can dance, I can put seltzer down my pants.
Nice.
And it became my thing. I didn't know it at the time, but that was what I was destined for. I left school in 10th grade, by the way. So that's why not having letters after my name was this big, nobody's going to read my book. And you can't believe how many people have said to me that I was brave. And that they wanted to share their story with me. And that's why I always say about therapy, you can't just come up to an author and say, well, here's my story. I'll listen because I care about people, but I'm not going to help you. I will direct you. So,
Yeah.
but in sharing, we feel heard. And in being heard, we're healing.
Yeah, I agree. It's interesting that, who was it? Was it the stuttering comedian? What's his name? Do you know what I'm talking about? He started on America's Got Talent. He came out and he told some jokes, and Howie gave him the golden buzzer because he says humor comes from a very dark place most times. And he says, and here you are with a disability that you have taken and turned into a wonderful thing that causes people to laugh, and you're right along with it. Drew is his kid's name. This kid is an improviser that I gotta one of these days see if he'll come on the show. But on stage, he has his little jokes, but in the middle of it, he'll break off and just go completely off script and start messing with the audience, and they mess with him too. I mean, he enjoys it.
Yes.
Completely unscripted. This kid is brilliant.
He's in the moment.
He is so in the moment that
Yes.
there's nothing you can do to shut him off. The more you talk, the more he comes back. I mean,
Nice.
he's just really quick. But he came from that place. I think the injury was he took a baseball to the throat.
Oh.
During a game. It was an accident, and it caused him to stutter. He's gotten better over the years.
Sure.
But it's still there. And
there was trauma when it happened. There was trauma in the healing. There was trauma from kids who would rather make fun of it than understand it.
Yeah, well, and at the time that he was, look at me now, I'm starting to stutter. How the hell? At the time that he was doing his routine for AGT, you could tell he was super nervous. So of course it just pronounced it even more, which was
Right.
in a way it was just lent to the whole effect of, okay, not only is this you're not sure if you should be laughing, and then the joke's funny as shit, and you're looking at him going, all right, I think he's expecting this, so let's just roll with it.
Well, and
And
some comics will play it up, like Josh Blue. He
Okay.
has cerebral palsy.
Yep.
And he definitely
He
will
is
play
another
it up. And I'm
he's
not putting
another
him down.
brilliant one. No, he's another brilliant one. He uses it just right. Yeah,
Correct.
no. It's interesting when you get people that have disabilities or injuries that have caused disabilities turn around and use it and go, hey, this is life.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my life, and I'm okay with
Right.
it. So you went through all of that. When did you? I mean, that was obviously the pivot point. What was what was the journey from there? I mean, how did you progress to just continue, like, because comedy isn't something you just jump into.
It was my escape.
Yeah,
Humor
no,
was
no, no. I get that part, but I'm talking about, like, you're looking at it from the standpoint of, like, you got like a second city kind of thing going with your troupe, which
Mhm.
is awesome. Improvisation is like the number one skill in my head for sales, for marketing, for just about anything in business, because if you don't have a quick wit and somebody throws you a zinger and you can't respond, you're done.
correct.
You're done.
3
So
words that will stop any show. I got nothing.
yeah, yeah. And yet those 3 words are some of the funniest in certain situations.
I don't know. That's a kryptonite. I don't know.
It depends on the situation, but there's times when it's hilarious. Business, not good.
Right. If you're in the scene with somebody and they say I've got nothing,
Yeah.
that is
Mm.
a big old pothole.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Yes.
that's as bad as blank space on a radio station.
Correct. I was a DJ. That happened. Oh, I still dream of you too. I still dream that the cassette just got caught in there.
Oh, so quick story, and we'll get back on track here. I used to work with a radio station in on Maui, where I'm from, called Wild 105, and they, cater to the young kids in high schools and, EDM music, which back then was called techno and everything else.
Oh, sure.
And I drove up to the station one day, and I got out the car, and I noticed the program director flying out of the office door, flying into the studio door, and I looked up and I went, "Is there a fire or something?" So I ran, of course, ran in to go see what was going on. And he was running inside and he was doing stuff on the board and everything. And it hadn't occurred to me there was nothing playing. I didn't understand
feel that right now. You're making me feel it.
And I didn't get that until I finally stopped and went, "Why is it quiet?"
Oh,
And I was like, "Oh shit, we got blank space on the air."
dead air.
Dead air.
Dead air.
like ser-
air. And
like
all the
seriously.
salespeople are calling the station. What the hell? My truck commercial is supposed to be playing right now.
This is what we heard.
Owie, make it stop.
Anybody OCD, would they know exactly how much of a traumatizing effect
The
that
silence
sound
you
had?
can feel. Making me sweat. Making me know that somebody throw on Stairway to Heaven so we can at least go out and go to the bathroom and grab a sandwich.
So as soon as I started hearing the commercials playing, I was like, and I get it now why he was running. And he came out and I said, "How long was that?" He goes, "I think it was 30 seconds. I went, "Oh my God." No. Jesus.
Owie.
Yeah, 30 seconds of blank space on air. And already I can tell you somebody over at the FCC is going, "What's up with 105? What are they doing?"
Oh, it's mostly about the money. If that was a
Oh no, they were already calling too. That was one of the other reasons it was running down.
Radio is not to ensure that you have music. Radio is to ensure we have sponsors.
Yes, and money coming. That was
Money.
that pays for the power and the radio license that costs thousands a year. Yeah.
Exactly. I feel you.
So, but you went and you built all of this up. You've come forward to today. You even have a podcast now too, correct?
I do.
Okay, cool. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
What's your aim? What's your goal with all of this? I mean, I heard you saying you want to have a platform for comedy, and you do. But I mean, are you out speaking? Are you coaching? What are you doing?
Both. I have been speaking alongside running a comedy troupe. So I end up running the troupe.
Awesome.
And producing and taxes and all the unfunny, unpretty stuff.
No,
it's still
we
a
shouldn't go
trigger
down that
for
road.
me. What's that?
No, we shouldn't go down the T road.
when I stop into a gas station or whatever, I mean, it's less areas that I'm stopping into, but I was the poster queen. I was always producing, always doing that. And I got pretty good at it. But in January, I sunsetted the group because that marked my 20th year of being in the show.
Awesome.
And of running it and speaking alongside of it. So I'm still speaking, but I sunsetted it. I said, because our show's in the fall, we would start writing in May and then get more heavily into meeting and writing while I was still working full-time always. And then producing this show that was 3 weekends, 9 shows long in the fall. And every night, boom, 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 every improv different, every sketch has its goal.
Sure.
But the group, and if it comes up, I would love to talk about the trust in the group. But It was time. It was time. I wanted to see what fall would be like without running constantly and
Mm.
always being tired. And quarantine and COVID said, yeah, you're right. You're not having a show.
Oh, wonderful.
So funny that I got to say goodbye before. It was my choice. I
Yeah.
left on a high, which is nice.
Yeah.
Would I'll still come out and do some improv shows. I'm sure I will.
Sure,
We
sure.
did them for corporate parties for years. And that's
Nice.
so fun because you're in the audience and I say, give me a place where two people might meet. And Michael yells out the movie theater lobby
Yeah.
and somebody's selling shoes. I'll put two ideas together and make it silly. You're part of the show without having to get out of your seat. You're part of the show because I used your idea and that was exciting. You were chosen and I'm not calling you out. So that's the thing when I do coaching, I can teach other tips like that says, I'm not going to scare your introverts. I promise. When I come to talk to you, I'm not going to scare your introverts because people hear icebreakers and improv. I call it creative partnering.
Yeah.
And I will work with, I get a lot of authors that are about to do a book launch. How can I creatively launch my book right now? I can't just go have a party where people are going to drink and buy out of their buzz. But seriously, we buy with emotion. How am I going to do that online? We're all sick of online by now.
Yeah.
So I definitely can talk you through that. So
That's
I
cool.
do a lot of business coaching and clients, like one-on-one stuff. I love doing it. So that's my speaking is interactive. And I found a way to do it virtually. So I'm pretty damn proud.
You brought up something that because of what you talked about in your childhood that I do want to go digging into. And I also want to investigate this thing called the Icebreaker Queen, which is a title you have. But let's go back for a second to trust.
Rewind. Rewind.
The idea of having, I was DJ too.
I know. Waka waka.
Yeah. The idea of trust. For some reason, I don't hear a lot about it. And yet, it's one of the number one things you must have and build before anybody will even hear, much less listen to what you have to say. Because you can talk like the guy with the bullhorn on the corner that talks about Jesus. You're gonna walk by and not even pay attention. But if you trust somebody, they could probably tell you some of their deepest, darkest, and no judgment kind of thing. Does that make sense?
It does, because we can all think of that person that broke our trust. Right when you said that, I can think of those that I would never share anything with. I can think of those that I can immediately go to and know that I can be heard.
Yeah.
Are you letting someone be heard and just let them get it out? Something that has helped my husband, number 3, and I is
Third time's a charm.
Yeah, well, I keep wearing them out. But the thing that helps us is that are you
I would love
you
to hear
sharing
more
a part
stories
of-
about that.
I'm still friends with my exes. They always help us move.
That's cool.
Always keep them in your life. You
That's
never know
cool.
when you need to have somebody move stuff that's heavy.
At my age, you don't want me in your life. Not for the heavy stuff. Let me put it that way.
But with your partner, are you sharing a story and want to be fixed? That's a huge communication breakdown. If I'm going to share with Todd something that happened in my workday, and I'm not non-confidential. I work in a police department. Of course, I'm confidential. But if I have to share, these phone calls were crazy off the hook today. Everybody seems angry at their neighbor. I could say something general like that.
Yeah.
And we have learned to say, are you sharing because you want advice, or are you sharing to just vent? So now we even will say, I got to vent for a second. I don't need fixing. And what a different way to even listen when somebody says to you in a kind, gentle way. You should agree on that ahead of time. You know what, Michael? I got to vent. Can I vent? And you're going to agree with what I'm saying and listen. That to me, that's a trust builder. That's so huge. And it's easier on the listener. Okay, I'm not listening to fix or repair or give advice.
I don't have to logisticize any of this shit. I can just sit.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing with one of my best friends, one of my BFFs. We talk almost daily.
Nice.
And when they call, they don't necessarily say it. I can just hear it.
Mm-hmm.
The moment they start rolling, I'm just like, okay, time out. You vetting or you looking for a solution? Nope, just venting.
Nice.
Okay, go. And they go. And then I may interject in between, like, man, that's some bullshit.
Right.
Or I'll say, or like in a conversation they'll be just like, and they did this and they did that. I'm like, they did this and they did that, huh? Because it's a psychological thing. When you say the last couple words of somebody, they oh yeah, and then they did it, and it encourages
Yes,
them
it
to keep
is.
going and getting it out.
It's a huge listening skill is to repeat something that you heard or to ask them to expand on it.
Yeah.
They did that? Really? Well, why would they take that car? Where was that from? I'm listening.
Yeah, and that was
And it's not fake. You're also really
no,
listening.
no. It actually proves that you're paying attention. One of my ex-girlfriends, my first ex-girlfriend, actually, I remember having a conversation on the way home from her work one night. We're driving, and she went through like four or five points as she was talking. And I said, it's interesting. And I took the last point and I went backwards to point number one. And she goes, this is what I'm like really impressed with you by. That's what do you mean? She goes, I just laid out a whole bunch of stuff and you like completely addressed every one of them. You didn't miss a thing.
That's so cool.
I'm like, should I not be listening? And she was utterly shocked. Apparently her previous relationships, they didn't really give a shit. And they wouldn't listen. They would always be trying to fix shit. And I was just like, I get what you're saying. And I think this is and I want to get into the group trust thing too, because you mentioned that. I think over time, if people paid present attention, and I was just talking with another guest about this 2 days ago. When you're present, you gain trust faster.
Right.
Because like you said, you just said it. I'm valid. You're listening. You're not just sitting there and going, oh yeah, okay, cool, yeah. By the way, I have friends like that too. That was the best one. I actually remember that. John was sitting I used to work at a Harley rental shop, and they were filled with a bunch of former Hells Angels, which was even funnier. And one of them was a mechanic, and he was sitting one of the partners was sitting at the bench working, and I hear him doing, yep, and he's working. He's going, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, and I'm sitting there, I'm going,
he's been married a long time.
Who's he talking to? And I can't hear. And one of the other partners taps me on the shoulder and he goes, don't interrupt him. That's his wife talking to him. And I'm like, doesn't look like he's paying attention. He goes, he does this to her every day. She calls, she just talks. He just sits there and goes, yeah, sure, no problem.
It's on a recording.
Until
on a loop.
Until she finally says, all right, I'm gonna go. I said, all right, love you, bye. Click. And then he looks up and he goes, and he keeps working. And
it works
we're like,
for them.
Oh,
it works for them.
It did. They'd been married, I think, 12 years by that time.
Yep. He knows she's just venting.
and that was their thing. We got a shit kick out of it just because of the fact that we're watching him as he's working and just going, yep, yeah.
No, that's a sketch, and anyone can relate. That's why I said he's been married a long time.
When you get to that point in life, I think you've kind of hit the pinnacle of relationships.
I think
you kind of got there.
Yeah, you probably work a lot longer hours just to be at work. But the opposite of the non-active listener, not the opposite, but I would say the darker side of that is everybody has this person at work, and I'll call my example Sheila because that's her name. And I'm sharing a story. Oh, did I almost spray coffee?
You almost got a spray shot there. That was
okay. That's my goal. I'm not going to give up.
I'm now going to put this over here.
New goal
from my hand.
But I was sharing a tragic story. We lost somebody close to us over the summer, and it was a tragic vehicle accident and not this person's fault. And I was seen at work crying and tears rolling into the very absorbent mask and all that. And she said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Well, no, I'm having a moment." And she asked, and I shared a little bit of the story, and immediately she said, "Oh yeah, well, back when I was, at this other city I used to live in, this 9-year-old girl got run over by a tractor and she lost her leg and blah, 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 blah." And I looked at her and I didn't wipe my tears. This is a really clear moment for me because normally you would make that other person feel okay. Like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Well, bull crap. I looked at her, let the tears roll, and I said, "You're not helping me right now."
Yeah.
And I walked away. That was a real strong moment of clarity to me.
Yeah.
Because if you don't give a crap, you asked me only to learn. Yeah. You didn't ask me so that you could help me. So F off.
Yeah. Who was
You're
the
not helping me right now, is what I said. And don't one up somebody when they're telling you a story.
Oh, that's the last thing you do ever. You don't even bring a story up. And by the way, I had to learn that one the hard way. I kind of ran into a situation like that, and a buddy of mine's pulled me aside and said, "You know, you almost got knocked out just now." I'm like, "I don't understand. What do you mean?" He says, "What you just said to that guy who just lost somebody he thinks of as a brother. You almost got hit." I was like, "Wow,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that." And he goes, "Yeah, you just never do that kind of stuff."
And that stuck with you. And that's good, because it's not wrong to have done it. It's not wrong to possibly do it. But right now, if you had that reset from somebody, it hurts in the moment.
Mm.
But guess what? It saved all your next conversations. If it affected you
Thousands.
enough that you remembered it and just shared it, that
Thousands.
means that was part of your active listening that worked with a girlfriend that obviously listening wasn't enough because you said she's an ex.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there was a lot more going on besides that.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
We're listening.
Yeah, no, that we don't have enough time for that one. No.
Don't forget, I'm an interviewer too.
Yeah, it's the amount of skits that you could probably pull off of the shit that we went through. Yeah. And every one of them, people would be rolling. I guarantee it.
Oh my.
Yeah. Another podcast for another time.
There you go.
All
the women that loved Michael and now don't.
All three of them. Anyway, and that includes his mom.
Nice.
Yeah, well, I really think, though, speaking to the point of trust, trust, and being able to be empathetic without being the fix-it person. I can't remember what the word is that describes that. You find it easier to endear people, I think is the word. And I've been accused of that often. It's like people will for some reason start sharing things with me. I don't know what the hell I said. I don't know what I did, and then I've asked some people. I'm like, you shared something kind of sensitive there. Why with me? And the response is usually something close to, I don't know. I just feel like I can share with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I've asked other mentors, and I'm like, what is this? And they go, well, here's what it is, Mike. You have an endearing style.
Sure.
And it's like,
and you're probably not talking crap about other people. So if somebody is always telling you about other people and the BS and the crap, and then did you hear what she did? Or they're on Facebook about it. You already know they're doing that to you when you leave the room. Are you kidding me? You can't tell me they're talking about all these other people, but not you.
Yep.
So you must be that person that's not talking crap about others, because for one, who cares? For two, you are trustable, but you are definitely an empath. You have feelings about other people and you can feel it and you are reflecting it. You're active listening and you're reflecting it. A lot of improv is listening skills, active listening, being present in the moment, building a scene, building a conversation. These are the things I can align with business. What you just said was, that just makes me immediately know that you're not talking crap about anybody else. Even bringing up an ex-girlfriend, there was opportunity for a joke, but instead of saying something, you said, well, that's for another time. You just protected that person. So you don't even realize you're doing it. You just are a quality, genuine dude who's not talking smickety smack. And people know that.
Well, for one, thank you. But to add on to that, one, that was a first relationship. And I know I was not perfect in that relationship, for a fact. I know I messed up on a few things. I also know some of the things that person had a challenge with, and they weren't necessarily just character things. There were some other esoteric stuff going on around that too. I'm from Maui. Maui's an interesting place. Not to mention, just recently, she reached out. I haven't spoken to this person since '97.
Wow.
And she literally reached out and said, well, I recently lost my mom. And she reached out after finding out about it and said, hey, I just wanted to let you know, I'm sending you my condolences for your mom. Your mom and dad treated me like a daughter, which they did. I mean, She stayed with us for a while. And she goes, and I will always remember how much love they showed me. Please keep being positive. You seem to be a very positive person, which I think I am for the most part. um, which tells me she's kind of been watching me, which is a little freaky, but that's okay. Um,
Well, you are in the public, dude.
Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely in the public, so I gotta expect some stalking, right?
Yes, yes.
The safe kind, thankfully. But I look at it from the standpoint of, that tells me that she's evolved and she still has a good heart.
Yes.
And I'm cool with hearing from somebody that's like that.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
And that she didn't have to reach out. She could have just felt bad about the loss of your mom.
Yep.
And I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one and the other ex also reached out. The one that blocked me on every social media platform.
No kidding.
Yep. Also said the same thing. Said, although I didn't meet your mother in real life, having my conversations that I did with her virtually, your mom was a good woman. And I was like,
Oh,
thank you.
her legacy.
Yeah. My mom was a good. She was one of those that would adopt anybody that would have her.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, and
But
I was
sounds
cool with that too because it was just like, yeah, my mom's just everybody's family. It's okay. So but again, it goes back to if there is serious issue from a previous relationship where trust was lost,
Mhm.
there's a bag or a box, because you mentioned this earlier, that needs to be opened with a professional, and you need to go unpack it, clean
Yes.
it, and let it go.
It's interesting that you use the box analogy because what I say, I always talk about the backpack of rocks.
Yes.
And we're carrying around this backpack, and all of us can picture right now a worry that we've already had today,
Mm-hmm.
a thing that we need to do,
Mm-hmm.
or a call we should make, and all these things. Those are each and every one are rocks that we're carrying around in a backpack. And I'm not saying I have my crap together. I'm not saying I don't have some rocks right now. I'm saying this is what I notice.
Yeah.
I'm not here to teach. I'm here to share and tell you what I'm working on. And if it aligns with you, neat. If not, So once you do this, for me, it's to-do lists. If I write it down, I don't have to keep thinking. So I don't suffer with mild anxiety. I celebrate it and embrace it on a daily manner. And if I don't write it down, I'm going to have to go, I got to remember that. Parchment paper is on my grocery list right now.
There you go.
Parchment paper. When I get to the store, I'm going to see that aisle and I'll remember baking goods, parchment paper. I'm going to end up with chocolate chips too. Let's be real.
Oh, of course.
But when you write it down, you can take it out of your head.
No one gets away from the chocolate chips. I'm sorry. That's just not.
Not the cheap brand.
No.
Not the Surefine crap.
Nope. The real, the Godiva deal.
Yeah. So if you make a list, or you make that call, or you can keep reminders in your phone. I am a reminders person. It pops up. It popped up today.
Same.
I set it a half hour ahead
Mhm.
so I can get my crap together, make sure, I'm ready and log in and all that. If you make a list or a reminder list and set reminders, it's out of your head. That one rock gets to be taken out of the backpack that is on my back all day.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it interesting that even the ones that seem to be the most together have the 100-pound rucksack?
Yes, the honest ones will let you know that.
And then we said, well, those that don't like to admit that they don't have it together don't realize that they're carrying 3.
Yeah.
There's their past and their future.
Nice.
I've had the analogy for me is obviously get into the back room that's dark. It's got all those unmarked boxes. Get them open and get them dealt with, because your storage space is only so big, dude.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, but the way you laid it, yeah.
And I like yours because yours actually, your analogy also is real in the fact that we all have a spot in our homes where there is the stuff. For me, it's paper. I have a real hard time with paper. And so I do have the big shelf full of paper. And clutter is an example of issues. So if you have a cluttered room, a cluttered space, a room that you don't let people in, no, don't be looking around. We all have a perfect our Zoom world. I will not flip my camera around. My wall is packed with sticky notes. It's actually kind of funny, my sticky notes, because if I write it down, I don't have to hold it here. So
that's not messy. That's a different type of organization. That's a creative style of organization.
God!
If you had Post-it sitting behind you, I'd have issue. But in front of you, no, you're all right.
Here, all over.
There you go. See,
they're pretty colors.
Oh, that's even better. That means there's some organization even in the colors. That's good. I know project managers. No, not lying. I know project managers that still use Post-its to this day, color coded, and they use it in the midst of their daily organizers. So
Absolutely.
yeah, no, you're not doing wrong.
So part of my anxiety would tell you Post-its don't last forever and they could fall out.
This is true.
So,
This
I don't
is
know
true.
about that, but there is
I haven't
Post-its
seen one,
on
but
your,
yeah.
there's an app on your phone you can use Post-its too. Fun fact.
New.
Did you know
I
Post-its
did
were
not
a
know that.
mistake?
Yes, I did know that. That was supposed to be the super glue of the century. And he screwed the pooch, and somebody went, well, "Why don't you use it for this?"
I'm so jealous of that invention because, for one, I love office supplies. I've
Oh,
been
yeah.
an assistant for more years than I'd like to say. But it's also this grand example, which I was just sharing on my LinkedIn page. It's this grand example of oops to wonderful,
Yeah. Yeah.
from a mistake to a brilliant sharing, which
Yep.
is the same as a slinky
Yep.
and penicillin.
Yep.
And I forget what else. So
WD-40.
what?
Do you know that story?
Did not. Let me hear that story.
You need to go listen to Mike Rowe, The Way I Heard It. He talks about it.
Mike Rowe. Okay.
Yep. You know what Mike Rowe is.
He kind of yells, doesn't he?
Dirty Jobs.
Yeah. Oh, I like him.
He's got a podcast.
I always get him mixed up with Bear Grylls or whatever. Grill
Yeah,
Bears,
that's
whatever.
now and
Bear
of course
Grylls.
now that you say it, I can't even think. Yeah.
One of them drinks their own urine, but it's probably not Mike.
No, I don't think it's Mike.
He drinks someone else's.
Mike has worked in urine because of Dirty Jobs, but I don't think.
True. Okay.
Yeah, boy. He's like salt of the earth kind of dude. He has a podcast called The Way I Heard It. And I was listening to one of the podcasts, and he talked about the story of WD-40 and how it became what it is. And he uses it by talking about the inventor that created the formula, and then related a story of how it got used. And you're gonna love the story because it's literally one of those. There's no effing way this could possibly happen, except like this.
Yes. Oh, I can't wait to hear that. But
if I can find the link, I'll send it to you.
Oh, you're the best. I think it's a great example of when you make a mistake. Oh, okay, here's a short example of when you make a mistake, what can you make out of it?
Yes.
But own it. Own that crap. My son just sent me a picture. He's 25, and he sent me a picture that his girlfriend spilled nail polish on the kitchen rug. And he actually used markers and made a whole scene out of it. Because you're not going to get the nail polish out. And of course, you end up getting a new rug. But he made a whole scene. So when she got
with permission, I'd like that photo. I just want to see what it looks like. No, I won't share it, but I want to see what it looks like. Because
absolutely,
that's creative. That is creative.
It is creative. He's whack. I love him. Yeah.
That's awesome. Guys, we got to take a short, quick 30-second break. When we come back, we'll start talking a little bit more about this Icebreaker title that she has and what inspires and motivates her. So we'll be back in 30 seconds. And we're back here, Java Chat, sitting here with Lisa, David Olson, cracking each other up on the breaks. We got to do this more in the show, of course. The second section, we usually talk about what motivates, what moves, why do we get up in the morning? Why do we do what we do? I have a sense of why you do what you're doing. But we like to hear, like, what is it that really, what is it that really inspires you? I mean, you get up in the morning, there's got to be a reason.
I have a full-time job, so my alarm gets me up in the morning because, damn it, we need the insurance.
Yes.
But I do have a passion for my day job, and I know that I'm making a difference in that I'm very excited to have, because especially with COVID and the quarantine and all that, my family took a huge hit on my husband's side. So our dynamic has changed, and we're fine. Thank goodness. Financially, we're not, but on the other side, it turned out that that's not the only thing. Our marriage is strong, and we're making it work, and that's bigger than most marriages would have. There's a lot of divorces right now. And there's a lot of babies.
Yeah.
But what motivates me is connecting through humor. And I have a project in bravery. It's in my book. It's on my Facebook page. I love to meet people, learn their stories, just like you do, Michael. And connecting through humor is huge for me, because when there is humor, like let's say we were at the mall and something funny happens over on the other side. You and I don't know each other, but we're standing by each other. And maybe there's a family that speaks another language. And then there's some very, very old people and some very, very young people all in this area, safely, of course. Something happens across the way. Someone just walked in with balloons and just started singing to somebody. And we are engaged. You are not looking in your phone.
Nope.
You are You are not carrying on this
If
conversation
you are,
you
you're
had with your
deaf,
partner.
and you just can't hear. That's all.
We're all looking.
Yeah,
We are
absolutely.
focused and in the moment. And that is one thing that humor does. It demands your attention
Mhm.
by choice.
Yeah.
Because we're drawn to humor, and it raises your endorphins, and it lowers your blood pressure, and it helps to quell your anxiety. And there's so many more reasons. But from that moment that just happened, language didn't matter. Age didn't matter. Language didn't matter. It was this thing that we all experienced. We're all going to go home and talk about it. Maybe we'll take a picture and put it on social media. And the thing is that's a ripple effect. And I do have a Facebook group that's all comedy. Just we share memes and talk smickety smack. There's no
Oh,
political. There's
you know
no
you're getting
R-rated.
you're getting a couple of requests today, guaranteed.
I hope so. It's counterclockwise. Join us over there.
Oh yeah, well we will.
In 3 months, I got over 2,000 people because you know why? People want humor.
Yep.
And people will message me and say, I needed a smile, so I went to the group. Or I needed that laugh, and so I went to the group. And it's monitored a lot to keep out certain things, but
Sure.
that's what makes a successful group is that you know you can laugh. Or maybe you're in the mood for some sarcastic or more adult thing. Find that group. That's
Yep.
great.
Yep.
I get compliments even in person from a store owner I didn't even know knew me. And he said, I needed a laugh today and I went to counterclockwise. Thank you so much for creating that. And I was like, oh, it's everybody. Meant the world. I mean, I walked on
Oh
air.
sure.
But comedy is a ripple effect. So if we had that moment, if I have a moment at work and I answer the phone and somebody wants to complain about a car that's been in front of their house too long,
Mhm.
and I talk to them, I'm in a good mood. I answered with a smile, which you can hear on the phone.
Yes, you can.
Comedy is a ripple, and that is my passion. That is the reason I get up in the morning. I love to meet people and learn their story. I love to connect through humor, and just the benefits of humor is outstanding, and the
Absolutely.
connections we make and how it affects the rest of our day. I don't know what you could compare to that.
No, it's all about the serotonin, right?
Yeah,
It's all
there's
about the
that.
serotonin. Yeah, I think for the most part, having been a musician for 15 years, before I ever got into marketing
You
and all
play
that stuff,
bass?
I play anything string that is plucked
Oh,
or strummed.
I'm a drummer. We can jam.
Oh, it's on. We have humor was the one thing that broke up what music can be. Music can become monotonous, no doubt. You listen to the same thing over after a while, you just kind of like, okay. But if you inject a little humor inside there, it's like, oh, these guys got jokes too. Okay, that's cool.
Oh, Primus,
Yeah. Oh.
Cake.
Yep. Yep.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yep. All them.
I'm all
We
about
used
it.
to do on our shows that we used to play in Hawaii. Our first set was usually a medley of songs. You know, just 4 or 5 of them, and then we'd stop and greet everybody, and we'd say a couple of our normal jokes, and then it was a free for all.
Oh, okay.
Like because there are certain songs in Hawaii that you can have fun with on the lyrics. You can change the lyrics, and we would do it to see if anybody was actually listening to the music.
Sure.
And on the days when people were really enjoying themselves and really paying attention, you'd start seeing this happen. We're up on the stage over here. Oh yeah, no. and like there was a I can't remember what song it was, but there was a song that we would literally do farm animal sounds.
Oh my.
And like you name it, anything from the farm, nothing was taboo. And I had the rooster crow down perfectly.
Is there any way I could get that out of you today?
We'll see. And it's one of those, but it was one of those deals that would seriously stop the whole crowd and go, "Was that a rooster?" And they're looking around, they're going, I thought I saw a chicken around here. No, you didn't see a chicken around here, you moron. That was the guy up on stage. But they don't know that because they think, well, we're in Hawaii. Aren't there wild animals around here?
Anything can happen.
It's a wild animal. It's wild roosters. Okay, yeah, fine. But these are the things that we would do. Like there's a Hawaiian song that talks about a donkey.
Oh.
There was a couple of songs that talk about different car sounds, which was another guy. He was actually able to do those. But we would do that because every once in a while, as much as we enjoyed as musicians, we enjoyed certain songs because we could really express ourselves. We would also look at the crowd and go, okay, we're not here for us, guys. We got to be here for them. So has anybody got anything that we can interject that might be a quick joke that, people can catch on to? And we did. It varied from day to day. But boy, let me tell you, when people were paying attention and they started getting us going, we started getting them going. And then we noticed that people started sharing jokes on their table. These are strangers. They'd never sit with each other before in their lives. They come to Hawaii and literally
Nice.
half of them, if they find out that their state, their neighbor in their own state is there, we would tell them, you realize that they came this far to get away from you.
It's so true. That's so true.
We had so many jokes.
What was the name of your band?
Oh no, it was a luau show. So we get matched up. It was a mix and match almost on the daily. There are a few staples, but we'd go to one show and we'd laugh because we'd see all these cute couples come in with matching outfits.
Oh, geez.
Well, and it's cute. They're on their honeymoon, or they're celebrating their 25th or 50th wedding anniversary, blah blah blah. And our MC was a real clown, Barry, and he comes out and he goes, "I wonder if you guys understand what this is going on here with these people that have matching outfits." And everybody would be like, "Oh, what?" And of course, the people in the matching outfits are like, "Well, what is he talking about?" Says what happens is that they're planning on getting so smashed they don't recognize each other at the end of the night, and all we do is we match them up as they go out the door.
It's like human garanimals.
Now, some of you might be wondering what happens if there's more than one couple that has the same outfit on. Disclaimer: we do not know who it is that you're going home with that evening.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. So if
that is a great joke.
Yeah. So if in the morning he has a beard and he didn't the night before, it ain't on us.
Sign here, sign here,
Yeah,
sign here.
yeah. You have virtually signed yourself a waiver. We claim no responsibility. Make sure you keep your valuables in your car.
Tax, title, license, extra.
Exactly. But these are the things that we would, and that really did get a lot of those nights. We had people come up to the stage and thank us for the music. We had people thanking us even out in the parking lot, which was really odd.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like it proves how endearing comedy can be, and I think used appropriately at the right times, a little bit of humor can break the ice, and that brings me to the Icebreaker Queen title. I'm assuming it's connected to because of the fact that you have so much comedy, but where did it seed? Like, where did it really settle? How did that come about?
Well, icebreakers make people flip out in the sense of uncomfortable.
and not in a bad way either.
Sometimes, in general, you and I are pretty outgoing, but it doesn't mean I want to stand up and go see if my card matches somebody across the room. And there are days
yeah, I get that.
That doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
There are days that I came here to listen, and when they say, all right, we're going to take a 3-minute break, you talk about it with your table partner. I understand that. And as a woman, we get a lot more of that in different things we go to, but there's days I don't feel like it. I just came to listen and learn. So that icebreakers need to be a little bit revamped to, and in fact, I even hate that title because it evokes, like me saying, I'm going to teach you improv. That is not endearing because you think you have to stand on stage and become a blue cow, and it's not true. I can teach you in many different ways.
I'm not laughing because I was not a blue cow. I've never been a blue cow, but it's funny.
But you can't say you're not, because in improv you have to.
That's
and
true.
You have to build on it, and that's part of listening.
That's true.
So if you say I'm not, you just did I got nothing, and now we don't have a conversation.
I was actually gonna say, but because I'm in marketing, I do know what a purple cow is.
Oh, snap. Utterly adorable cow puns. So
all puns, not pies.
The
puns.
Icebreakers are also necessary if there's 4 people out to dinner. Because my husband is a superb entertainer. He created and ran game shows for decades, and he is right up there with Family Feud. I mean, he created his own set for that, and he was the host of Family Feud, and he can do trivia and all these things. He can run a room. You put him at a dinner table with another couple. Let's say, oh, Steve and Barb asked us out for pizza tonight, and I don't know why I had to talk that way about it. So, and we go and sit 4 people at a table, and he is not excited. He's great in the moment, but the pre-thought of what are we going to talk about? But yet he could get up on stage and run a room of 1,000 people easily. So that's odd. So those kind of icebreakers. And what you already know is people love to talk about themselves. That's why we both have podcasts. And the thing that I do that is my own icebreaker for my own life right now with quarantine, I'm at the store.
Nice.
And in line, they say, "How are you?" So I'm going to say, I'm the cashier and you're the
Okay.
customer. How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good. Did you find everything?
Pretty much.
Okay. The end.
Yep.
Okay. So when they say to me, "How are you?" Fine. How are you? Fine. I say, we both just lied
Yeah.
because we're not. My hip, oi, it's going to snow. But
You just gave me my next response the next time I go to Smith's or Target.
oi, my goiter.
Oh, my goodness.
You want to see my rash? Did you find everything? Where's the ointment? So, but what I do and what I have done, and it's really fun, and everybody should try it. I ask them, what are you doing for fun lately?
Oh, now that's a good question.
I have learned one girl is in a dance team. She was so excited that they got to still meet up at a safe distance with their masks.
Yeah.
I got to see pictures.
Nice.
Another guy, big guy, huge dreadlocks, tie-dyed shirt. He fosters itty bitty kitty cats.
Nice.
Loves talking about it. And I can't remember. Oh, one lady, what was bringing her joy in the day was that she cleared out her basement of all her daughter's stuff that she had been storing for no reason because the daughter didn't even want it.
Oh.
She felt like powerful, man. She took that basement back.
Yeah, I would say that's a reclamation of territory.
Yes. Where you don't even have to pee on things. That's another year in reference.
The Cold War is now over.
Well, it's ironic because she asked the daughter, "Hey, I want these out, so you better go through them." "No, I don't need any of it." So for years, it just sat there. And it was a big aha.
Talk about rent free. Holy crap.
I know. Can I bring my stuff over?
Yeah,
I got some Rubbermaid totes.
Exactly. I don't even have the totes. I'm just going to bring stuff over.
It's not even mine. This statue I just found
this
at the neighbors.
I found this over by the dumpster. It looked kind of cool. I figured just leave it down there just in case.
I'll be back some year. But in asking people, what have you been doing for fun lately, has turned out to be this gentle icebreaker that I have yet to have somebody say, "I don't know." They absolutely will answer. I have yet to have somebody not answer it. And there's no harm if they wouldn't.
No, not at all.
It's in a very friendly way.
Yeah, I mean, you're not digging into their life. In business etiquette, we teach this thing called small talk or die, which is the essential of asking for a little bit of something and sharing a little bit of information without becoming overly personal. And even when you're doing a dinner, small talk could be something as simple as, "Hey, did you see the Golden Knights game last week?"
Or, "Hey, what do you think about politics?"
Yeah, probably not advisable. Anyway, not if you want to make it to the first course, or even past the cocktails for that matter.
No doubt. Do it before they sit. Just
exactly.
a test.
Hey, just asking, are you conservative or liberal? Because this is going to be a real good night then.
Yeah, this is all I can talk about. Yeah. Or whatever sports ball team you don't like.
Oh, yeah,
Let's go there.
exactly. Do you hate the Packers? Oh, we're going to get along just fine. And I don't hate the Packers, by the way. I'm not a huge football fan. I do like football. I like watching the game. I like when the games are good. In other words, I like when it's not a blowout and there's a struggle going on. That's cool. I'm all right with that. May the best team win, whoever that is.
Yes.
But I
just like the food at the party.
I got some friends. Oh my gosh, the food's always good. I do have some friends though that will swear by certain teams, and it's because well, we're from, so this is our team, and I'm looking at them going, cool. And I'll text them when their team is winning. I'll be just like, "Hey, they're killing it," and they're like, "Yeah." Then on the days that they're not killing it, I won't text at all.
Well, you could text just a meme that has nothing to do with it.
No. What I usually do is I'll text them something that has nothing to do with football. "Hey man, how's your backyard? Is the smoker working?"
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll get back. Yeah, but
correct you.
My team's not doing so great. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm not a sports person, but I do want to give you this tip. If the team is winning, it's we are winning. But if they're losing, it's they are losing.
That's right. I remember that. That's right. Yeah, I won't do that just because I'm not a we kind of guy. I'm just like, hey, they are doing great. Glad y'all are doing well.
Yes, exactly.
And I do mean all y'all.
Oh yes, all of you
All
collectively.
y'all. Yeah, it's not just y'all.
All y'all.
Because they are doing great. No, but I think, again, speaking to your point, being able to tap into someone's joy as a means to break the ice.
Mm-hmm.
One, it just makes absolute sense because you've one, there's no wall at that point. The wall drops immediately. Secondly, they look at you like, oh, you actually care about what I like.
Right.
Maybe you might like the same thing. Honestly, it's not about whether I like it or not. I just want to know what you do.
Yeah. Right. I love to learn what makes people tick because you would never put it together. You generally would never know that.
You wouldn't.
And for that 2 seconds, they mattered. And because what a mundane job. And I really appreciate workers being on the front lines because I thought stores were going to close down.
So did we.
I mean, I
did
guess
too.
that's the whole TP thing.
I'm in Nevada. We were really seeing that possibly happening. It was like,
Yep. I've been so grateful for the people that out there on the front lines really keeping us in food and making it creative and talk about improv.
Yeah.
How about curbside pickup?
Yeah.
How about
super
deliveries
pivots,
and
super pivots all over the place with that. I mean, people have created. I honestly think it was really wise when companies like Smith's and Vaughn's came out with their own apps. And for a long time, I thought, well, who's going to use that? Now, everybody.
Mm-hmm. Right. Brilliant.
I mean, Walmart. Order, show up, they bring it out to your car.
Yes. Even the craft stores.
Yes,
We're all crafters now. We all can make sourdough bread with our feet. We can paint. We can knit. And craft stores are even doing the curbside and all that.
Have been cleansed. That's all I worry about. That's all I worry about. But it.
Well, toe jam goes really nice on foot sourdough bread.
Oh, she went there. I was. Oh, wow.
I told you I have 5 sons and I work with men.
There's.
It's gonna happen.
That's not the borderline, but damn. Oh, geez, toe jams. That's funny as shit. There's a master networker that I read about years ago when I was learning and getting my certifications for business etiquette and stuff like that. And he takes the same kind of premise, not exactly like yours, but when you're at networking events, which please jump in on this. There's always that one question that everybody sits there and goes, "Oh God, here it comes." So what do you do, Jim?
What you do does not define you, nor is it absolutely your choice or the path you thought you'd be on.
But the way he does it, I think is brilliant. I try to get people to invite me over to their house for dinner.
Let me hear how that goes.
Interestingly, very well, and because for one, it's the shock treatment. It's the pattern. It's the pattern interrupt. And they look at him and they go, "You do what?" Yeah, seriously, I try to see who'll invite me over for dinner.
You just outright ask?
He literally says it. He puts it out there like that as a means to, one, pattern interrupt, 2, see who's really serious about getting to know him, and 3, seeing if there's any openness to actually have a conversation, because at that point the person's like, wait, this is not how I thought this was going to go. What the hell are you talking about? I've done it. And I got to tell you, some of the conversations that I've had in and around that breaker have been phenomenal.
Oh.
And because it comes across kind of like how yours does. We're talking about you. I give a shit about what you do. I really don't care what you do. I care less if you're making 10 times as much money as I do. I want to know about the person, because while business is business, business is still personal.
Yes.
Because if you don't trust me, you're not going to buy shit from me.
Right.
And vice versa. So in essence, I'm basically saying, who are you?
Mm-hmm. It's exactly it. I love to connect with people and find out what we have in common. And yeah, I don't know if I'd have you over for dinner, but maybe a light lunch.
It actually got me one. It got me invited over for a dinner once, which I was like, okay, I wasn't counting on that, but cool, I'll show up. Why not? We'll see how that works.
How do you ask?
And at the point, and then comes the next one, like your husband. I'm not entirely sure what the hell we're going to talk about, but let's give this a shot.
Yes. How do you even ask? What do you do?
What do you mean?
How do you ask to come over for dinner? You just ask?
No, literally in the midst of the conversation is after having said that, I actually had somebody look at me and go, "Okay."
No, but show me how you ask. Like we're talking about
No,
the
it's
red
it's
walls.
as we come up at first, it's literally when it's the response to, and what do you do? And I literally say, I just try to get people to have me come over for dinner.
Oh,
And the retort, what one time the return was, okay. And I sat, I was like, well, that was unexpected. What do I say now?
Did you go?
Yeah.
And how did it go?
No, that becomes the comedy we have committed. We're going. We cannot turn back at this point. We have passed the line. We're in the sand. We are going.
Unless your follow-up question is, do I have to wear pants?
Stop giving me ammo, because if it happens again, I'm going to use it. Is this with or without clothes?
Yeah, right. What kind of fabric is on your chairs? Because I don't usually wear anything. I don't want to squeak.
Please tell me it's satin.
I was thinking quiet factor, but yeah, you go there.
Well, satin's kind of quiet, depending on what the under part is. If it's faux leather or real.
Leather, please.
Leather, not the faux type either, please.
That's right.
Satin has a tendency to fabric. What is it? Have a tendency to be a little bit friction on between the two.
On my bum.
Yeah. Although I've sat on suede and it was very comfortable.
Oh my god.
It gets back.
I actually went to a nude beach.
Oh, we have them on Maui. Trust me, been there numerous times. Numerous times.
It wasn't anything I needed to do because I wouldn't sit down.
We did. We did it. Just
I'm in
to go and laugh.
Jamaica. Second honeymoon in Jamaica.
Nice.
My brand new husband that didn't last, but he was so excited to go to this nude beach and walk up and meet people. But in real life, he wasn't that way. So he just had this weird persona. I was like, I don't know if I like this side of you. It kind of is creepy that you're happy to walk up to people and order from the bartender who's not impressed that you are a white male with no pockets for tips. You're not impressive in any way. So I had nowhere to sit. So I said, that's enough for me. I'll meet you back in the real world across the little river.
He didn't just at least wear a fanny pack so he could carry tips in him. I'm just asking. I'm just asking. I mean, you should be a nudist instead.
Should have. Yeah.
At least a shoulder pack or something, you know.
Should have had the fanny pack spun around to the front.
Yeah, so, well.
Yeah.
Or at least over his shoulder. You know, that invites
the
all kinds of
bartender
fun
on the
stuff.
nude island was like opposite of employee of the week.
Yeah, probably.
Like,
he was probably
Frank,
like, yeah.
You've been late 5 times. Out to the island. Always the Frank.
You get to hang out with the nudists. Go.
That's right. You get the no tip bar that they walk up to.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
No.
Glad you said walk up to and not saddle up to.
Giddy up.
Oh. Those stools have known much less pleasure than usual. Anyway.
Yeah, anywho.
But
How's your mom and them?
Yeah, right, exactly. I could just
Bob's
imagine
your
that.
uncle.
Hi, nice to meet you. How's your folks?
Can I come over for dinner?
Whatever will we talk about?
Well, hey, what do you think about politics and nude beaches, eh? You know? So Why I Never Get Invited Back a Second Time by Lisa David Olson.
Oh, no, you're coming back. There's no fucking way I'm not having you back. I'm sorry. You're coming back. Let's try to bring this back here.
Good luck to you. I'll be over here.
I want to talk about Project Bravery. We're going to take another pause and we'll come back after this. In about 30 seconds. We'll see you guys in a minute. And we're back here at Java Chat with Lisa David Olson. Now that we've stopped laughing our asses off and try to get back to some semblance of sanity, we're
I hate your dumb rules, Michael.
Yeah, I didn't make them. That's it.
Rules are stupid.
Yeah,
I quit.
Yeah, I didn't make the rules. I'm lying, but that's okay. The the last section is obviously we're discussing what is it that Lisa's up to now, and what is she working on? And there's a couple things in here seriously that I do want to discuss. One being Project Bravery, and I really would like to give you a chance to go ahead and just lay it out. What is it about? What is it? Who's it for? And what's the mission or objective of this?
My project in Bravery became accidental,
Mhm.
and it didn't become accidental. It started accidentally.
Sure.
I saw some people downtown that two young ladies that had just gotten ice cream, and one was a bright pink waffle cone and the other one had probably cotton candy or blue moon. It was just these
Sure.
vibrant colors.
Sure.
And you can't be sad eating ice cream. Okay, you can. You can eat Ben and Jerry's right out of the bucket watching Lifetime, but that's a different story. This is when they were happy having ice cream.
Not touching that one. Not.
It's a girl
touching.
thing, Michael.
No, it's not. I can tell you right now, it is not just a girl thing.
Oh, it's not? Oh.
It's not just a girl thing.
Oh no, I hit another trigger. Damn it.
Yeah, well,
Just rock gently. Rock.
talk about that.
And they were taking selfies, and they were beautiful brick wall background. So I
Oh,
just wanted to
perfect.
paint that picture.
Those are the
And
best.
my husband and I were walking by, and they said, "Would you take our photo?" And so he is doing this thing. He's being a director, and he's like, "Okay, look into the distance. You just lost your dog. Okay, look at each other and laugh and laugh and laugh. And okay, look at the ground now. Up at me on 3 and go." So he just became this silly director.
Oh yeah.
And then we went off and we went and checked into our restaurant. Then I had this epiphany, as I call it, and I ran back outside and I said, "Hey, can I get a selfie with you?" And they were like, "Sure. Are you an influencer?" And I'm like, "What's that?" And they were like, "Okay, you're probably not on Instagram. You're old, but yeah, we'll take a picture." So it's the way I remember it. It's
Yeah,
probably
right.
not what they
Exactly.
said. And so they
That's the Ben and Jerry's later in the house going, "What did I do?"
that's what drove me to understand the network. But I said, "Here's the thing," and this just popped into my weirdo brain. Let's take a selfie, but let's not smile. How weird is that?
Super.
You try that and you have to laugh because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like in that moment where you're trying not to laugh, that you're stifling your laugh that makes you want to laugh. So what came out of that was I used the timer on my phone and we kept a straight face and we made sure we weren't laughing. And before and after, all we could do was laugh our buns off. And it started my project, Serious Selfies with Strangers.
Holy cow! Look at that.
It's ridiculous because
That is crazy.
so what happened after that was I did a lot of these and I wrote in my book, I shared the stories. This is the lady at the farmer's market.
Oh.
Here's the guy in Chicago who could not look because he could not laugh. He was so awesome.
That
But
is
in
awesome.
these stories, it's all these people I met. So going back to the ice cream girls, when my book came out, one of the moms connected 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon or 6 degrees and connected with me. So I got to have a brunch. We went out for coffee and it was the 2 girls, some of their friends, and a bunch of moms. I think there was 8 of us.
Wow.
We had coffee. We shared stories. We took more pictures together. And then we went shopping at a resale shop and we broke out in ABBA songs throughout the whole store. They asked us if we were all performers. We met because of that picture.
Yep.
We met because of that picture. And that's not my goal, is to make friends out of it, but just to have these stories and these moments to carry on the connectivity through laughter and through sharing the ripple effect of joy. But I've got solid friendships and just great friends like Chris that we took a selfie at a restaurant, and we live in the same town and we've stayed in touch. There's people that when I was visiting in Colorado, and it's all ridiculous, and they love to find it on my Facebook page. And I challenge anyone, do a serious selfie with a stranger. Obviously you'd have to be safe with COVID, but they can
Sure.
be in the background. You can
Yep.
have your masks on.
Yep.
Or just go to my Facebook page and look at them. It's really silly, but it's a connector that I didn't expect
Yeah.
because I was brave and I took my face out of
Yeah.
my hand computer for the
Yeah,
moment
yeah.
and paid attention to the surroundings and interacted with somebody new.
I swear that is probably the one thing that's going to get people back together.
Maybe.
I was talking with Pete Bombachi earlier this week, and he has the general project, which is um, connecting humans, literally.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm gonna have to now make an introduction between the two of you because I think what
I
you're
would
doing and
love
what
that.
he's so cool. You will totally enjoy him. Just he's a cool human. Period. Um, we were laughing in the very beginning because if you remember a certain person using the last name Bombachi, you're around my age, so I know you remember the name Umbani Bombachi. Who used that on Johnny Carson?
My husband would know this.
The night that Frank Sinatra was there, he popped in.
Wow.
Don Rickles.
Really?
And sat down and started talking with Frank. He said, Frank, Marco Mangananzo, 2 shots in the head last Thursday, and your good friend Umbani Bombachi
I remember
last
you
week
saying it, but
got
I
into
wouldn't
his
have-
car, and now he's a hood ornament. And of course, Frank. So when I did that with Pete, he was like, "Oh yeah, I remember that." It's these are the kinds of things that allow people to connect. Do you remember this? Oh yes, I remember that. We didn't do it, but we remember seeing it. That's
Yes.
enough.
Right.
That's enough. I like what you've got too, because I don't know a single person that I know that would be able to keep a straight face doing something. It's not going to happen. I'll
not
try.
easy.
I will try, but I did a kind of a self competition at one of the consumer electronics shows here because we had a new product we were introducing, and at the time this beard was pretty long, and I noticed that at CES, which what we call it, there were a number of guys with beards rolling around.
They
I'm like,
rolled around?
literally guys walking through, yeah, and they rolled by.
Yeah.
They were rolling their beards too.
They see me rolling.
Yeah, they hate it because the beards were pretty freaking epic. So I created a hashtag, beards of CES,
Nice.
and I think I got,
I love it.
I want to say I got somewhere around 7 or 8 beards like this to beards to the floor. I got
Love
one
it.
guy that has, and what's interesting is he didn't look ethnically German, but he was.
Oh.
And his beard was down to his waist.
Oh my.
I'll have to share some of the photos with you later,
I would love that.
but the connection was, hey, you got a beard, I got a beard. I'm doing this cool thing for Instagram. Do you mind?
Yes.
Nobody said no. They're all like, yeah, sure.
It's exactly it. You don't have a nice big beard like that and not expect some attention out of it. You're not shy if you're sporting the facial hair down to your belly button.
Well, and then I even had the what was their names? Two little guys. They were both Jewish. Their beards only came to here. They looked great. I
Oh
didn't
yeah.
care. You know,
Doesn't matter.
some of our employees went and got on an app that helped put a beard on their face. I have that photo too. I'll send that. Those are
Oh,
funny.
too cute.
Oh yeah, they're hilarious.
That is creativity.
especially when Julie
Exactly.
did it. It was even funnier.
Everybody wanted in
Everybody wanted it.
because it's a connector.
Yeah, and these are people, even the people that I was working with, it was my first time meeting them. And this just got us all on the same page of, oh, we're all clowns. This is
Yes.
going to work.
Yes. And you can create that way. When I presented to a security team once, they're like, well, we can't do comedy. We're in this business for security. You know, we have to be the serious people.
Not
I said,
really.
you can connect. There's a lot of ways. What we ended up doing was we played one of the icebreakers I play with businesses is the wacky wild ideas. It's called Get Your Butt Fired. And we say, what would get you fired today if you did it on lunch break?
Oh,
people
you don't
immediately
want me
say-
playing that game.
I know. And that's exactly what happens. But we say, if you could do anything, you know, we've gone from drugs to open bar to live music to add a swimming pool in our break room and all this. Now let's make it workable. And it came down to, okay, we can have some tunes played at lunch and we can have root beer floats.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
maybe we can set some paints out. You can make it workable and let's not really get fired. But we took the wacky ideas and made them workable. And as a team, we shared ideas. And if there were people in the room that weren't in the mood, they could just enjoy watching. And again, I don't want to scare your introverts. What we ended up with for the security team was the third Friday of every month was Wacky Socks Day.
Perfect.
Who does that hurt?
See, Nobody, not a damn person. But when you walk through as a security officer and go, what do you got?
Yes,
And all you're doing is
exactly
just
what
lifting up your
happened.
pant leg and nobody else sees it but you.
It's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I love it.
And that's I have a couple of friends that are attorneys and they're known for wacky socks. I mean,
Attorneys have friends?
yeah, well, they have colleagues. Anyway,
Okay.
they do the wacky sock thing.
Nice.
I got two of them that are gonna give me shit after saying that one.
What?
Yeah, right. But it's safe in a serious, ultra serious security and
Yes.
law to be able to sit there and go, yeah, well, I'm known for my crazy socks.
Yeah. They get the little pugs' faces on it or their own face. Or
I have a pair of Airbnb socks. You want to talk about out there? They're colors, and if you know their colors, it's a kind of a aqua, like real bright aqua teal color with
Caribbean?
orange, the insignia in bright orange.
Oh.
Yeah, if I wear those and my pant leg happens to pass the top of my shoe, you cannot not see it.
Right. It's almost glowing. Yes, it's there. That's great.
So obviously you do these consults with corporations.
Yes.
people
Even virtually, I can be interactive.
Oh, sure. Where would people find that version of you? Do you have a website or something that they can?
Well, my website is lisadavidolson.com.
Mhm.
And basically, I like to do one that's coming up. Let me tell you this about that.
Okay.
April is humor month.
Oh,
so
sweet.
I'm really on the lookout for anybody that wants humor added. When I give a presentation, it's very corporate clean, and I'd love to teach creative tips. So I'm connecting with a lot of corporations in April, and like Dream Bank out of Madison, Wisconsin. I'm very excited because we're going to talk creativity and humor in the workplace.
Nice.
A way that it's not saying come off of your work, but ways that you can incorporate it, just like you and I just shared a couple. I've got other ideas that are all about the break room, how you can be interactive when it's appropriate.
Yeah.
But you carry that ripple to the next event that you have, and it no harm.
I think humor in the workplace, appropriate humor in the workplace, is just a honest necessity to keep the workplace a comfortable second place to be. I use I use that as a reference to one second. Of allergies. I use that as a reference to a marketing strategy that Starbucks used when they first came out. And I learned this from some of the two people that actually worked on the marketing project. And they said, do you understand what Starbucks is? At the time, I understood it as a coffee shop. They said, no. I said, but they make coffee. He says, yeah, no, that just happens to be a part of the brand. I don't understand. I said, what's your first place? I don't know. This is, where do you live? Oh, home. I said, okay, where's place number 2? Oh, work. They said, yeah, they want to be your third place. That's why it's set up the way it is, so that you come there, sit down, relax, read your newspaper, and have coffee. They just happen to have coffee there. And obviously it's changed since then, but that was the initial premise, and that was what blew them up. So what you're sharing here is that the second place becomes a comfortable place to be, or a place that you can at least look forward to going to, rather than what's the old adage? 2 ways to wake up in the morning: the morning Lord, or good Lord, it's morning. I'd rather the former than the latter if I'm going to a workplace, if I'm going to an office, because at that point it's like, do you know what I'm going to find at the break room today? It might be fun. Or I wonder what fun antics I'm going to learn about that maybe happened over the weekend, or that last account.
And can you picture the person at work who is the energy vampire who drains everything? There was this one gal that we used to have in the accounting area that I love birthdays, love birthdays. And I was bringing a card around, and she said, and I said, I'm sorry, I don't know what you said.
Okay.
I really can't hear you, and I want to. Yeah. I don't sign birthday cards. Oh, you're her. Oh. Well, bitch, please.
We
I'm
have
out.
we have a news for you out in the back. We'd like you to visit.
I'm like, I didn't ask you for money,
Yeah.
anything. And you know what I did for her birthday?
I hope
A
nothing.
lot.
Oh,
I did a lot.
look
Because
at
guess
look
what?
at look at how
sad.
wonderfully nice I am. Nothing.
She got candy, a card, something funny. Because you know what? How sad are you? I'm still doing my
Extremely.
joy.
I would think she's absolutely miserable. She must not have friends.
She is. She is. And she didn't last there very long. But
Most people don't when they're like that.
no, it turned out, honestly, that she did a lot of work to hide the fact that she wasn't working. And I'm not even kidding.
Oh,
It was that kind of a deal.
that's not
But
good.
But I'm not going to get sucked into that
No.
energy draining vampire sucking
No. That's
world.
not. No, it's not
I'm
good.
still going to be me and say, here's a ginormous bag of M&Ms. So
Yeah,
celebrate.
if a ginormous bag of M&Ms ever showed up on my birthday, my first reaction would be woo, and then it'd be like, oh damn, here comes the gym again. Fuck.
I once bought the really cheap ones and they were all W's.
Oh.
They melted in my hands.
You're so wrong on a few levels with that one.
Just because I'm copying you? Is that why?
How'd you know
Because I
that's what I was
noticed
messing
things?
with? How did you know that I was messing with that?
I got
This
eyes.
is my fidget. Yeah, you can't guess the other one though, and I'm not showing it to you.
The other
anyway.
hand? I don't
No,
want to know what's in your other hand.
No. This one.
Oh, I got to find my toy. Heck.
So this is actually an exercise thing that you use for your arms, but
You working out?
you
I like stone.
yes, Mr. Girly Man, I work out. Crystals are fun. Crystals are really cool. I actually enjoy them a lot.
Yeah.
Just to sit in. I want to go to that cave. Unfortunately, it's suggested that you not stay there very long, but I could honestly see me going to that huge crystal cave and just sitting down and just kind of just chilling.
They're doing salt rooms now. Himalayan salt rooms.
Not the same.
Not the same.
I get the premise. We actually have one up here, and I'm dying to go try it because I just saw it. I was like, I didn't even know we had one. But there's a cave of these huge crystals, the white version of what you just showed me.
Yeah.
And they crisscross and they go up and down, and it's
Stalagmites and tights and all them.
But these are crystals. They're not stalag or stalag.
I was just trying to show off about caves.
Yeah, whatever, geologist.
Whatever.
But unfortunately, the temperature in there is extremely hot for some reason.
Oh, hot.
Yeah, so you can't stay in there very long.
Oh, I didn't know. Huh.
They said
that,
it's usually between 98 to 100 in that cave. After a while, that kind of heat can get to you. But anyway, back to center. Cool deals that we have when it comes to being able to help a company realize a difference by doing stuff like that. What are the kind of results that you've seen?
When they
employ some of the things that you put in there, what are some of the results that have come about because of that? I mean, people have to, yeah, it's all a great idea, but does it really work? Well, here.
Yes. It's about being present and including the customer in on that joy. And it lasts because the ripple effect of if you get a new employee and they don't get what sock day is, they're going to share that story and give permission to play.
Yeah.
So permission to play is also the understanding that it's in that moment, it ripples out, but we get back to the manner of what is going on at work. Right. So you can have different contests on the wall. You can have prizes. You can put up a meme without a caption on the wall and say, give it a caption. There's a prize on Friday. And you know what? Prizes don't have to be a big dang deal.
No,
it can be a candy bar. It could be a bag of chips. I almost gave a brand name out. I almost said Doritos, but I didn't. And it could be anything. It could be the brand new Mountain Dew that came out. People want to try it. It could be something. It could be a Hershey's Kiss. I'm just saying a prize is a prize and everybody loves to play. So it's not going to affect your work to walk by and think of a caption. And you know what they do? Even though I work with amazing officers in the day, they love to play.
Oh, yeah.
And people think that it's all rigid. In the moment when it's okay, they would definitely chip in on the wall, like center around my boss's birthday card, and instead of just signing it, I asked everybody to add a line to the story.
Oh no, Mad
So
Libs.
of course, I
That's a
started with
Mad Lib. That's a Mad Lib. That's a Mad Lib all day.
that's what improv is. It's a 3D Mad Lib.
Yep.
But and you can do this on the wall of your home, where you just have pens and paper at the ready, and you say, take a turn at a line. And it started out this one day, Michael picked up his scissors.
Yeah.
Somebody else is going to add to it. And my boss's birthday card became a long story about how the boss had pet chickens and he took his favorite one for a walk. And I won't say the rest, but it was a very memorable, though it had a sad outcome where the chicken died.
I have quite a few police officers as friends. I can't imagine how badly that thing spiraled in just a moment's notice.
But it was trust as well, because not only would we never share that publicly, we also know when you work together, you know each other's handwriting, and you know who said what, or you know who tried to hide their handwriting. And it became this whole collaboration that hurt no one.
Yeah.
It became a memorable thing, and it was more fun than saying, happy birthday, chief. You know, it just became all these things encompassed into this moment of joy. So what it brings to a business is permission to play, as long as you keep your nose in your work. But look at the ways you can have fun with meetings. And you know, I challenge you, start your meeting on time and honor those who are on time.
Yep.
You pass out, again with candy bars, you pass out some sort of a treat to those who showed up on time. Guess what happens your next meeting?
Oh, absolutely. All day. I think that, and again, going back to the fact that I haven't worked with officers. I just have a bunch that are friends. And people don't realize there's quite a few of them that have really good sense of humors.
They do.
And they are creative. And if you think about the reason behind that, consider the stress they go through.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whether it's stopping off at a house or a traffic stop or having to actually engage in a confrontation, you have to be creative.
You don't know. And when they walk out that door, it could be something like a lost pet, but what they find along the way, you don't know. And I'm in a small town, but we're right off the interstate. I'm telling you, we just had a car on fire. You just don't know.
Yeah.
And I so respect them. So when they're in the moment, they are in that moment.
Yep.
But we do play silly games like, guess what this jerky's made of? You want to try it? I'm in the Midwest, so there's a lot of hunting that happens.
Oh no.
And I also will tell you, if you don't try it, you're going to be picked on. Or if you don't,
I'm sure.
If you don't take what's in the hand that's like this, if you don't just brave up, you don't tell them what you're afraid of. I tell them I'm afraid of $20 bills. Because if they know I'm afraid of spiders, guess what's going to happen?
Oh yeah, all day.
Anyway,
that's probably one of the, and a nice reverse psychology on that one too. Good job. Because spiders don't bother me, centipedes bother me, scorpions bother me.
noted.
Yeah. The fake ones don't. It's when they move. That's when I have a problem.
Right, all those legs.
All those legs. When the legs start moving, I'm like, no.
No.
Or if they start getting up and doing this number, and I'm just like, yeah, no, that's satanic. You can go away now. Bye. Not having that one. Anyway, this has been more fun than fun. So you have LisaDavidOlson.com. You have the group. What was it called again?
Yes, it is Counterclockwise on Facebook.
Counterclockwise, and then
I'm on Instagram, and my podcast is called Stranger Connections.
That's what I wanted to chat about next. What kind of guests do you have there, and who are you looking for?
I want the weirdos, please.
Okay.
Send me somebody who has the quirkiest life story, the strangest career, or the wildest hobbies. I've interviewed a monk who was a monk for many years and then quit. So I wanted that story. I interviewed a gal from Hollywood who's a screenwriter. That's not what I talked about. I talked about her panic attacks and how she overcame those. I've had a lady analyze my handwriting, a feng shui expert who will tell you what's up in your house and also align it with the Chinese horoscope.
Is that why you have all that stuff in the corner over there? Nice, good job.
She did not talk about my office. She complimented it. I usually get a lot of compliments on my paintings. But
I like the plant. The plant's cool.
Oh, thank you. I fake water it when I water my real plants. I talk to it.
Good.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You use the blow dryer to get it dusted off. Is that how that works?
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Maybe
we won't talk about the mental issues behind that. But that's okay.
So I've interviewed a man who's been sightless since birth, and we became really good friends. He and I jab each other constantly and make all these really inappropriate jokes. Like, hey, I wish you could see because I just had my hair done today. He's like, I know I can't see, but girl, you need some makeup.
Yeah. Oh,
He is so
that's
fun.
a good burn. That's a one.
You
that
need
one's-
him on your show. He
you
is
know what?
good.
Get us introduced. I'll be happy to have him.
I will. He
that
is
would be
amazing,
funny.
and he's brilliant with music.
That's
brilliant.
even better.
He's
That's
got like a
even better.
master's.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so check out Stranger Connections. It's a quick hit show. But I'm still looking for the former nurse who walked on hot coals. I
Oh.
can't find her again. So send me your weirdos. Send me the strangest stories, the hauntings, the whatever.
The
Yeah,
huntings.
check out my show.
Definitely will be doing that. And of course,
I have a comedy album out if I could plug that quick.
absolutely. Is it on iTunes
On the
and
iTunes.
Google? Yeah. Good.
It's on the iTunes, and it's old phone calls that used to be on cassette. Then they were on CD, and now they're on iTunes.
Are these prank calls?
Maybe.
Oh.
Yes. It's actual telemarketers who called us.
Oh yes, I love those. Yes.
Yes. And it's called Phun on the Phone, but it's spelled Phun. Fun on the Phone.
That's
And
gonna
I have
be
22 of them.
Oh, it's gonna take up a lot of my time.
It's fun to listen to when you're driving or something like that, but I didn't let the people get out what they wanted to.
Some of the prank calls that I've heard are like the one that was going around about John Cena.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, they got her so many times.
It was so
I was just
bad.
like, I was like, how can you not? It's like one after the other. Did you not figure out that they're going to call you again?
Right.
And she
right.
took it. She just took
she
it.
just wanted it. Yeah.
All right.
Whatever.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, that's what I do. But it was telemarketers called me, so they're the guilty ones. So, and I did bleep out their names because I did get to meet Tom Mabe, if you know his name.
No, you met Tom Mabe?
Not in person, but when I worked in radio, we interviewed, and he said, because I let him hear a couple, and he and I chatted, and he said, make sure you take out the business name because if they could turn around and take your house, that wouldn't be very fun. And he ran a new one by me at that time. We're talking 20-ish years ago. And it was that they called and he was talking about ADD. And then every time they would say something, he's like, wait, how long do you microwave a burrito? And he kept doing these interjections. And I let him know about mine where I made it.
My favorite with him was the telemarketer that called right in the middle of the murder scene.
Yes. He said, I'm sorry, you're part of the scene now.
Yeah.
Now that you called.
Yeah. Now that
how do you get blood out of curtains?
Yeah. What's the other one? Now we both know that he was a flaming homosexual. What was the nature of your relationship with Mr. Johnson? And the guy's like, no, I don't know him like that. So I was dying.
I was at a coffee house in my city, and we got to talking about pranks and such, and telemarketer calls and how many calls we're getting. And she quoted one to me that she found hilarious once. It was one of my own calls.
No way. That's cool.
I went out to my car. At that time, I had him on CD, and I said, you need to have this because you just quoted me number 4. It was mine. And she goes, no way. It was at my friend's house. I'm like, this is one of my best days ever. But I would like more coffee, please.
Yes, exactly. Just a slight refill. Room for cream. Cool. All right. Well,
thank you for all this. We will definitely stay in touch and send me your weirdos for my show and check out my Stranger Connections.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be jumping in on that group because that should be a blast. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your story, sharing your passions. Ton of alignment as far as how all of this works with Icebreakers and stuff. When you come back, we'll have to talk about pranks. We didn't get to talk about that this time.
Ooh, we could do that in April for Humor Month.
Yes, it's not a bad idea. I'll have Brianna reach out to you.
Sounds good.
Guys, this was a lot of fun. I like
lots of fun. For me.
Obviously, everybody knows I love to laugh, and if you couldn't tell, I was for about 70% of the podcast. So you pass with a C.
I love fake statistics. Yay!
You pass with a C. It's good enough.
All right, C for comedy. That's me.
It's perfect. Next time we go for the alpha. We got to get at least a 90. Anyway. You guys always know how we love to end this. Make sure you check out the comments below. All of the links for her podcast, her group. We're gonna get them all down there for you guys. Go ahead and jump in, get involved. Learn. This is the kind of stuff that you should be sticking into your being, because humor does help. Humor can heal. Humor can warm up. Humor can do a lot of stuff used appropriately at the appropriate times. Make sure that if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, what the hell? Hit the damn
What's
button.
your problem?
Get the bell next to it too.
Get to clicking.
Oh wait.
Hey,
Anyway, that'd be my buddies from the Bronx. Hey.
I'm coming over to your house for dinner. Now click on subscribe.
Exactly. And make sure you hit the bell so you can see when the next awesome person like this comes on. And if you're listening to us on any of the 13 platforms that we're on, download, subscribe, feel free. Take a couple of us, take a couple of us with you. And then if you're listening to us on Anchor.fm, feel free to give us a support there. Every little bit helps. Every time we end, we always want to tell you all we thank you for making the time to listen to the content that we produce. We really do appreciate it. We love every one of you. Make sure you stay up, stay safe, stay healthy, and live. For Lisa, David Olson, and for myself, Coffee with Mike. Ciao for now.
Thank you.
For more information on Java Chat, visit www.javachatpodcast.com. You've been listening to Coffee with Mike on Java Chat. Tune in weekly to this podcast for the next episode. You can also download or subscribe today on your favorite podcast platform. A production of Oasis Media Group, LLC. Located in Las Vegas, Nevada. Copyright 2019. All rights reserved.